Morning guys, hope you're doing well. You had a good week, and just to say is that the market sentiment summary, it has had a change on the 24-hour difference. We've had a reduction of short volume, so these bears, unfortunately, they've got liquidated and their accounts exploded, so it's quite sad, to be honest. I feel sorry for those guys, but it could have been avoided had they been looking at the broader big picture, and the big picture is that we are risk on there. And I'll show you what I mean. So when that goes from red to green, if I show you the trading station, this is what I mean. So we went from red to green, or red to green here, red to green, red to green, and at that point you could have gone long on DAX, and this would have been enough money to buy yourself perhaps a nice sports car. If you had a decent position at that point, the return you would have got would have been astronomical. Okay, so this is what I mean by the big picture, is when it flips from sell to buy, and then this is what that is. So this is the big picture, and this is confirmation of the big picture. Now, however, today we haven't had that confirmation. We've seen reduction of bears, so we could be topping out because it is basically a liquidity probe, and it's going to inevitably grind higher until they've liquidated all the bears. Until they've given up, then we can fall. So we've still got 33 bears left, but we have had a reduction. But that's what I mean, big picture, and this is confirmation. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Any questions at all about the sheet, let me know. I won't mind at all. I love to help. Don't feel like I shouldn't pester Dave because he's busy. If I'm busy, I can get back to you, when I can. I don't mind. I love to help people, so don't worry about that. And so that's the definition of the big picture and the 24-hour change. So hopefully that's clear. VIX got crushed again, which is typical. The PCE data came in as expected, so it wasn't really a shock. So it didn't really have any fear. So obviously the fear gauge, the VIX, it got crushed. Friday we've seen a change on US 30 and France 40, and note that gold's becoming more of a buy as well. It's probably worth noting because probably a lot of you are trading gold, and so that's that. So be aware of AJ. We now sell, so even though we might be grinding higher on indices, that's a sell, and that's like a very traditional risk on, risk off currency pair. But we're seeing correlations break down because of the skew here. So it almost like it needs to liquidate these bears, and once they've given up, then we can return to some normality. There's 93% of people are short DAX, right, which is crazy. It's way too skewed, so they need to be ejected out of the casino. Okay, QDB scores. So something of note was the GU. Was it sitting at 50-50, so it could go either way. It's quite difficult to say. We've had a slight reduction on the scores, but we're sitting at 50-50. Now, there is something of note, is the yen. They were very bearish yesterday. The largest move I'd ever seen on the yen basket, and now they reversed. So they were very short yesterday, and now they've gone very long. So I'd be really careful. I think the open interest here is going to reduce, and we're going to see this spin cycle on yen is going to flush them out, and they're going to get out with losses, and it's been engineered to punish them, I think. So we see that 17,000 lots. I reckon that's going to reduce by Monday. The dollar is massive, but then that would be expected, that would be normal, but I think the yen, that's going to reduce because of the whipsaw that we've seen on the yen in the last 24 hours. So maybe be a bit wary about GU because we're sitting on the fence, and how to use the weekly change and the daily change is that more green is buy and more red is sell. So EJ is actually really moved on the weekly change. So yeah, we've got to be careful with the yen. I wouldn't trade it personally. I would avoid it completely, and I'd rather just stick to dollar or maybe even an exotic pair. I just wouldn't trade the yen. It's a little bit too volatile and a bit too crazy in its whipsaw. We've completely flip-flopped on sentiment in the last 24 hours. so I'd probably avoid that. Daily bubbles quickly. Aussie is strong and the yen is weak. Alright, so but the thing was, the yen was over here yesterday and it just reversed. Now we need to be aware of the dollar bubble today, because ideally for us from the robot, we want the dollar to come over here and ideally gravitate over here, but I don't know if it will happen, but we'll have to wait and see. The euro, we need to stay in this box. Alright, we want the dollar to come over because we're long the euro USD, so we want that to stay there. We want the dollar to come over here. So they're short the euro and they've added short. We want them to continue to add short. By doing so, it'll push price higher. So let's look at the bot. And we had an okay day yesterday. We had £50 profit, but we're held down on the week. We're up currently £11, £12 now. And ideally we get to that stop loss cluster above, which is quite far away, but I don't think it will happen today. We can see how we're just going sideways. So just a quick one there, and hopefully you understood how to use the sheet and the risk calc. And if you've got access to the sheet, keep an eye on that dollar bubble, because that would be really of note. If it comes over here, it's going to be a stronger sell. If the euro comes over here, it'll be a stronger buy. And that's how you can use the bubbles as well to derive signals. And unfortunately we have to wait every 15 minutes. That's the way that it works. We could spam the MyFXbook servers, but I'm wary about being blacklisted, and so I think every 15 minutes is okay, and we just have to be patient. So in a couple of minutes this sheet will refresh, get the new API data, and then we'll see what happens with the dollar bubble. Ideally it moves over here, and that'd be great. The euro can stay there, but ideally the dollar can come over here, and that would be really good for the bot. And then maybe we can even recoup the week's losses and we can make profit. We might even be positive on the week if we come up to the SLC above and the bubbles confirm that. That'd be great. So I'll be back on for the COT data on Sunday or Saturday, depending on Krishnan, and I wish you a good weekend, and I'll speak to you guys back on Monday. I'll try and get out a little bit next week, because I didn't get out this week because we're flooded. Where I live, we're in the countryside, and it's hard to get out because of the torrential rain. So I'm going to try and get out next week and get some exercise and see how we go. So have a good weekend, trade safely, and let me know if you've got any questions at all. I won't mind in the slightest as well. So I'll speak to you later. I wholeheartedly recommend fxsi.com and their indicators for MetaTrader 4 and 5. It's a 7-day free trial, so do have a look. There's no credit card required. You might be lacking in some sentiment awareness, analysis, and it does complement technical and fundamentals very well. Especially if you're very technical, you could be missing out on some sentiment, or if you're particularly fundamental, you could be missing out on some sentiment. This is like a sweet zone. It complements both, and it gives you a very strong bias about direction as well. So technicals are great for direction, fundamentals are great for direction, but the sentiment sits in between. Okay, and so perhaps if you're missing out on some sentiment awareness, these are the best indicators in existence in the world for that. And then you can have a look at this. You've got a 7-day free trial, and you've got your order book, and you've got your indicators, including the ratios, which are amazing. Just look at my videos on my YouTube channel and you can see how powerful the ratios are. And you can have a look. Just take your time. You've got 7 days to trial them, and if you don't like them, then that's fair enough. You don't have to renew, but we do have a code if you want to, and it's just the QDB code, and it gives you a 10% discount, and that's it. So have a look, see what you think, and like I said, it's a 7-day trial, so you don't have to renew, but I think you'll probably find you will renew afterwards, because the order book and the ratios and the stop loss clusters as well are amazing. The stop loss clusters are great because you know where to target. Okay, so that's where you take profit, where people get stopped out. Okay, and that's it. So just a quick plug for the fxsi.com, and enjoy your day.